You're gonna
Because I was thinking of doing British, but I watched some Crocodile Hunter last night, and I was just like, well, that's about it.
The thing is, I've realized and now it's going all over the place because of what you're doing. When I was listening to season 1 stuff, none of it was consistent.
As you do.
None of it was consistent.
Oh no.
So
no.
I'm not as talented as I thought I was. I'm a complete hack and a fraud. And welcome to the show.
I know your understanding of human ghost relationships.
Honestly, what I think is really important here is that we didn't miss a step. That it's like nothing has changed. Everything has changed, but nothing has changed. You know.
You know what we could do is, here's a new thing, and this is only going to be this episode.
Right? Yeah. No.
If this is your first time listening to the show,
welcome,
and you just listen to that intro, that's about it.
You're impressed.
That this is, it's just us talking. As you do in podcasts. That's the benefit of this medium, is that we just get to talk and hopefully you sit there and listen.
And if this is your second time, or if you're returning, your third time, welcome back. We're glad to have you.
Welcome back. You are what made this podcast a success.
Honestly, yes.
Honestly, thank you.
I have, from
the bottom of our hearts.
I have gone through some very hard times recently. I have really struggled. There's been a lot of change. Some would say just almost every aspect of my life has turned right side up or upside down, topsy-turvy or catty corner, or just different. And this show helped me get through it. You guys, the fans who have kept listening, and with all of your support and just the loads of love, and just, I mean, the fact that it touched so many people.
All the emails.
The email of the
everyone
fan,
reaching out on social media.
All that fan interaction, it really, it made it, I just made it more bearable. It gave me this, I think both of us, it's given us something to focus on and to help us get through hard times. And I got to say, from the bottom of my heart, I am internally grateful to you guys for making this show not just possible, but just the most important thing in my life, and just honestly essential. And I'm very, very, very grateful for that.
Yeah, it's one of the best parts is like after my shows now, people will come up to me and say they found me through these podcasts, and that's honestly so special. Is seeing people like have the courage to come up to me and say, "Hi, I recognize you. You're from that weird podcast." I hate listening to my own voice. It's honestly the worst, and to think that anyone out there actually enjoys.
It's because when you got to remember, when we were starting this, we're in the just the basement. We were trying to branch away from what our careers were. And now people are starting to connect the dots, and we're realizing, that it was getting out there, and that people were really, understanding it, and it was important to them as it was important to us. When it was making us laugh, and what was, helping us navigate our careers, and what was, motivating us was also motivating them to step into comedy or to step into their passions, and it's hard to know when you're making it in the bubble, and then it becomes part of the world once you release it. And it got such an immense response that it now has become more part of my identity when it comes to my career than what than our comedy background was all those years that we've been doing it. It's nuts how it's just reevaluated everything and reorganized everything. When I think back to who I was when we started, that person was so different. We weren't used to working in this medium,
No.
I would have thought I would be interacting with people like
the
this.
cringe. I can't.
Yeah, no. I mean, when we started, it was tough, and we just wanted to do it for fun. We had such an innocence about us. We just we weren't trying to impress anyone like we are trying to now, and we weren't trying to sell out like we're trying to sell ads now, and we weren't trying to profit from it like we definitely want to profit from this now. It was just such a different again, more innocent age, and I have changed. I am not nearly as wholesome as I used to be.
The amount of production meetings we have to go to now.
No, everything has to be planned. This entire episode, this entire bit, every bit of it. It's not even necessarily scripted, but like right now, I've got my bullet points of what I have to get through in this episode. It's just not the same at all.
Oh, I've got a lot to get through.
No, we do.
I don't know if we have time for everything. But
yeah, we will try. But but again, I want to come into it and say, I'm not sitting in this chair with a gun to my head. All right, I'm not coming here chained to my desk that has to bring back a season 2 because of how successful season 1 was. Of course we wanted to come back. Of course we wanted to do more, Of course, absolutely. And we're going to give it our best, and bring this show back to proper form. And like we never missed a beat. Because really, we haven't. We can do what we did then, just the same. Nothing changed. Those years didn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting right back into it. Same as it's ever been, same as it ever was, same as it ever will be.
Yes, no, I mean
welcome back, baby.
When we started this, I believe my employment status and my relationship status and my just general life status was the same. And now 3 years later, it's right back to it. It's a cycle. It's when we come back to this show. That's when nothing has changed.
Well, I guess except for one thing for me.
Well, yes, you gotta get to your bullet point. Yes, I was leading into it.
We should probably get started at some point. I do talk about it in my set sometimes.
Yes,
but for those that haven't heard,
and your book,
I did get married.
Yes, you should plug your book though as well when you were going through the whole planning phase with it.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh god, planning weddings is the worst, and I'm so glad it's done.
Yeah.
So I guess from the beginning, I think we got engaged like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then it was about 6 months of planning, like a whirlwind of planning, where it's just like, oh, you got to get the fucking flowers, you got to get the invites, you got to get the venue, you got to get the fucking bands and the food and the
every detail.
It's a nightmare.
It's like planning a set, but for you have to plan where everyone's sitting as well. And you have to plan every nook and turn and the catering, and it's everything.
Especially when it's a multicultural wedding where you have to account for different cultures.
Right.
When the entire bride's side is dead.
Yeah, the lesson is you shouldn't, obviously. Mixing those cultures, too difficult. Keep them away is what I say. But yeah, go ahead.
I mean, so some people might not approve my relationship.
Right. No, I'm not trying to say I don't. No, obviously I do. I do.
I know your understanding of human ghost relationships.
Yes.
It's a hard thing to
once you accept that the ghost is just always naked and you're comfortable with that, you know what I mean? I just wanted to make sure that you...
Well, we're not going to retread old ground.
No, I'm not trying to retread, because that would be in very poor taste to the audience who has listened with us for this long.
Absolutely.
But, I think it's important in a relationship to be comfortable with the nature of that other person. And
whatever that nature is.
And whatever that nature is, in this
you have
case,
to be comfortable
in
with
this specific case, being always naked, I could see as a man just kind of being like, that makes me a little uncomfortable. Everyone's getting a show.
What I am uncomfortable with is how you're talking about my wife right now. I'd rather not discuss the nakedness or clothedness.
We don't need to be. It's not anything. It's not anything. The ghost is just always naked, and that's
she's
okay.
there. She's just always there.
She's always there and always naked, but that's okay. That's not starting anything. If someone came up and said, your wife's naked, you might think, you're starting something, mate. You're trying to pick a fight, mate. What you see, mate? Yeah, that's not for your eyes, mate. But when it's a ghost and the ghost is always naked, well, you have to let that go.
Are you starting something, mate?
I'm not starting something because
you're not starting something.
You
just keep bringing it up.
Because the ghost is naked and that's okay. It's so beautiful that you had this ability to, as you said, cross the different, cultures and cross that divide and just accept the ghost for who the ghost was, meet the ghost on the ghost's level. It's a beautiful relationship, you know.
Now that I remember, I think you did bring that up a lot in your speech.
Oh well, I couldn't.
I may have been a little bit off the deep end with the drinking, so I wasn't really paying that close attention.
I mean, just say,
I'll be honest.
And I wanted it to be something that, you know, could bring everyone together in the room, but also as a comedian, I want to address the awkwardness, right? I want to face that elephant in the room, okay? I'm not running away from the elephant. I'm not gonna get stomped by the elephant. I'm not gonna pretend that there's not an elephant there. I'm gonna stare the elephant down. I'm gonna shoot the elephant. I'm gonna kill the elephant in the room.
You're gonna shoot the elephant.
And I did. And so I saw that half the room wasn't comfortable with how naked all of the ghost guests were. I mean, it was a naked show. I have not seen that many naked people in my life. And, you know, ghost people. And I just wanted to just, you know, take the piss out of it.
Ghosts are people.
The ghosts are people. And I'm trying to, you know, I'm not trying to start anything. I'm trying to take the piss out of it. It's not an awkward situation. They're naked. I'm not naked. Don't worry about it. I can see everything. They can't see anything. I don't worry about it. It's fair. And I just
They were wearing their Sunday best.
Yes, well, and
to them.
And we all understood, everybody understood that their Sunday best was also them being naked because that's what a ghost is. And that is okay. And we all were okay with it. And we all were able to laugh because remember, we can laugh with our differences. We don't have to laugh at our differences. We can laugh with our differences. And that was so beautiful about your wedding. And yes, did I take the chance to stand on that you know, make a big speech up there on that stand up there, and you know,
on that high horse
of mine, and really make a scene of it. Yes, but you know, I'm a comedian. You knew I was going to do that. And
I'm not sure how you got the horse in there. It wasn't a part
listen,
of the plan.
Let me just say, when you're charging an elephant as massive as hundreds of naked people, you got to bring a horse. You got to even the playing field.
Got to bring the horse.
Yes. So you know, but listen, if we're starting this with me having to apologize for it, then I'm going to ask you.
I'm not asking you.
Well,
you don't have to apologize.
Because here's the thing. I think in life, right? I think I've been
I don't think you consider there's anything to apologize for.
Well, of course I wouldn't. Of course I wouldn't.
An apology from
no,
you.
Of course I.
You know,
no, I'm saying no. Of course I wouldn't.
That honest.
I wouldn't want to apologize. Okay, yeah, fair. I wouldn't want to apologize, but I think in life, I kind of, you know, I just kind of am too passive. You know, I don't ask for things enough. And
no, yeah, you're always, you know, like you're never speaking your mind.
I'm never speaking my
talking
mind.
over anyone.
I'm way too, you know, just gentle with people.
You're too.
I want
honestly too nice.
I want to turn that around. You know, I want.
Despite my feelings of the contents of your speech during my wedding, I really felt, you know, deep down, that was a good step for you.
Yes,
in your personal journey.
Here's the thing. I just want to say that maybe I'll admit that I'm not sensitive, and maybe I'm reading into the situation. I'm not reading the room right. I'm not room literate, so to speak. And I just want to give you the chance. If you want an apology,
they are hard to see.
You ask me for the apology, and then I will decide whether I apologize or not. But I won't infer it. You know, I don't want to be walking on eggshells all the time. I want to smash those eggshells. My feet are killing me.
I will let you know if there ever comes a time that I feel like I need an apology.
Okay, so
how about that?
So I gave the speech, and you were sloshed anyways, so I think it was okay. But then,
and the food and drink was just going right through most people.
A lot of there's honestly, I'll say this also. If it's not, I hope this is appropriate. There was a lot more ghosts there than I thought would be there. There's a huge, good turnout for the ghosts.
It turns out that you know, like the price per head goes down when half the attendees are not living.
Yeah, and I'll say this also, if it's okay to say this.
You can also fit a lot more when
there was a lot.
Half the guests are floating above your head.
I thought with all those ghosts there, a lot of different shapes and sizes, honestly. A lot of different kinds of ghosts out there that I'll admit when I, you know, was getting, you know, I have not been to a ghost wedding before. So I didn't know. So it was an eye-opening experience for me. It was really cool, actually. You know, not all ghosts look alike. You know, which was
I'm glad you were able to experience a new culture.
I appreciate it.
It's especially been one of my favorite parts of being in this relationship. Has been learning and kind of being able to partake in it.
So much of and, you know, because what you're doing, is you're really, going out of the comfort zone. And most people don't do that. But I think at the basis of the core of any relationship is you're going to have two people who are going to be different from each other. And they have to be able to meet, both of them, take that effort to meet each other.
Meet in the middle.
Not only just meet in the middle, but sometimes meet all the way on the other side. But they have to both be able to do that for each other.
Right.
It's a bridge. It's a highway system.
I hope I become a ghost.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's going to be very awkward.
Well, see, now I would think that because you're in a romantic, committed, life partnership with a ghost in life.
Yeah, eternal. That's if it all goes well.
It's gotta hopefully. Yeah, you'd think it's got to be good training for the afterlife. I would think that's got to be, you got to be getting in the front of the line at least to become a ghost. By the way, how did they become ghosts? Do we all become ghosts? Or have they not told you how this works yet?
As I understand it, it's a very personal question, and it's different for everyone. And no one's told me.
So still, is that something that because secrets in a relationship can be a killer, Is that something that you're okay with? Just, you're okay with both the ghost being naked all the time and not telling you if you're going to be able to become a ghost too?
For me, I think I'm able to accept that because
good. Okay.
If I were a ghost, and someone were like, "Hey, how'd you die?"
Right.
And kind of what led to you not being able to pass on?
Yeah.
I would be kind of ticked off.
Yeah, no.
To be honest.
It could be, it's a personal.
Especially if it's a constant question. People are constantly pestering me.
True. It's like
how I became a ghost.
Yeah, it's like you're a ghost. Let's move on. Why are we still hung up on this? I'm a person. Okay. I can respect that. That. So I won't be able to know either then. So I don't gain anything from your marriage to this ghost. Is that right?
No, other than, stuff to talk about.
Right. So, but not the important stuff that I want to talk about. Like, am I going to get to be a ghost? Do you think they know? Do you think those ghosts in that wedding were looking at me and being like, this guy, he's not going to make it? Like, they know that this guy, he's not going to be one of us.
You think they can tell?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I wonder if, I don't know. I'll have to ask.
Do they know? Also, do ghosts, there's just so many questions with the ghosts. We unfortunately got kind of bogged down with their inherent nature of being naked. But there's just so many other, once we decided what that was and we came to an honest truth that, of course, yes, they were naked.
Right, and we both agreed on one conclusion.
Right, that they were
we did.
Definitively naked all the time, that they were streakers, the lot of them. But that's part of their culture, that's part of their identity, that's part of their just genetic makeup at this point. Fundamental of what being a ghost is.
Or lack thereof.
Then, they could go anywhere, they could do anything, they could be anywhere, they could be anything. The amount of knowledge and power they must possess, but they showed up to your wedding, and that is what's most important, that they took the infinite time that they had and made it there. I took my very finite time and waited through 3 hours of deadlock traffic to get there for your destination wedding, and I'm a dying man, and I was able to make it, and that's a huge sacrifice. But they had infinite amounts of time, and they could go anywhere in the blink of an eye, and they were at your wedding. So that is also just as much of a sacrifice.
Yeah, honestly, I appreciate every single one of you, if you're listening, that did show up to my wedding. Made it one of the best nights of my life.
Yes, yeah. You seemed so happy, and it made me think. I mean, honest, and this is an honest question here. What were you most excited about getting married and the wedding itself? Because as a small schoolboy, I've always thought marriage and weddings socially could be kind of socially awkward to be up there like that, and also very very scary of a commitment. What got you to the ghost party like this?
I think that at a certain point I just couldn't see myself being with anyone else.
Right.
Of course, if it didn't work out, I assume after a while I'd be able to find someone new.
Sure.
Maybe not a ghost, maybe another ghost. Yeah. I'm open to anything.
Yeah, you gotta have. You can't. You can't both say it has to be a ghost, but you can't also say it can never be a ghost. You know, the ghosts are people. Ghosts are people. Yes.
Maybe it is some kind of functioning codependence or something. But she's the love of my life. I couldn't live without her, and hope to live, keep on not living with her
correctly. But
if it works out.
Then hopefully get to be a ghost with her. You know.
Right.
That's honestly, you have picked one of the best kinds of marriages there, because it can just keep continuing after death. You know. Most couples, you know, they don't know. You know, the couples, they don't know which one of them is going to become a ghost if either one of them are. You know, so you know, it's a shorter ride.
So much that in our vows we left out that. Well, I guess only one of us would have been able to say, "Till death do we part."
Correct. Yeah. Did they? Geez,
that shit's forever, baby.
It's a beautiful sentiment, my friend. I also want to ask about this whole vow thing. You know, is that something? This is just a curiosity. Here's the thing. I've been to a couple other weddings in my life. I usually don't get invited because I'm told I'm too nice of a guy. You know, I'm too nice to everybody. Nice. I'm too quiet. I don't make a scene. I basically hug the wall. They don't even know I'm there. They don't want to pay for my food. Whatever. So I'm too nice to go to a wedding. Whatever. But then I've watched, you know, like wedding videos and stuff like that. But I always see them like they reveal their vows to each other, but they also sometimes kind of have a similar vibe to it. Like, what's the writing process like for a vow, for a wedding vow? Do you guys just completely have it on your own, or do you guys kind of like brainstorm? Here's the general, like our show, we had a whole production meeting that I was going to ask you this question, so it would relate to our writers' room, so they would feel support during the strike. Like, right. You know, so I'm tying it all in, but you know, yes, I'm going to still ask the question. You know, how was the writing process like for the vows themselves?
We weren't able to afford writers for our vows, so basically what we did is we decided we're going to write it for ourselves.
Okay.
And decided against doing improv.
And it's good. And you know you can't do improv. You know you can't do it.
Oh no, that's ringing. Anyway, I'll finish this one thing, and but basically we kind of like we pride ourselves on like basing our relationship on communication, and always like kind of being aware of each other's boundaries. So kind of the first thing we did was we decided like what couldn't go, like what the restrictions,
right? Yeah,
or like what we wouldn't want being said out loud.
What's the sandbox here? You know, what kind of secrets of the afterlife can we start talking about? Which ones can we not talk about? Which ones can we joke about? Which ones can we not? Okay, right. Yeah.
You know, like maybe not discussing our like, you know, I don't know, more personal details, or like making it too much of a joke, or
right, yeah,
as some of us have a tendency to do, maybe not taking things as seriously.
Those people. By the way, I'm glad you singled them out, because the people in our production, they know who they are. They know who they are. They can never take anything seriously, and I don't know when they're joking with me or not, because they don't use a joking tone. They don't.
No. There's no way to tell.
There's no way to tell. And honestly, on the receiving end of it, very annoying to listen to. I got serious deadlines here. We're both very busy. We both, you know, when they're setting up the mics and they're goofy. I don't want to say names. I don't want to name which ones on our production do this. But like, take something seriously for once. Yes, no.
One of them in particular is glaring at us right now.
Yes, and you can glare right ahead, because I can glare right back. They sometimes in life, you gotta take this. I'm glad you have a sense of humor. We rely on a sense of humor. We're comedians, but
look,
take it seriously sometimes.
He's just Brian. We got to get. We are finishing. All right, we just got to get the outro, and then we're good.
Yes, just give us a second. We're just all right. So you were serious about the vows. You had some do's and some don'ts, and then you kind of just wrote them on your own as a surprise on the day, was it?
Right. Yes. And it was, you know, I'm, you know, secure in my emotions as a man.
That's good to be. I'm assuming that she was secure as a ghost.
And yes. If she could cry, I bet she would.
Good. Okay.
Have. But yeah, it was a really special moment.
That's not to be insensitive, but like, do you think it's you have to cry in the wedding? If you're not crying, do you think that's a bad sign? You know.
No, I don't.
You don't want to. You don't want to draw that line in the sand. So if you saw a wedding, if you were there, and the bride and the groom, and the saying, the proclaiming, and the
maybe
whatever,
I would have been like disappointed.
Okay.
Or so.
Okay.
But
you don't need.
I think in
tears.
the end, I would understand.
You don't need tears.
I don't need that. I think I'd like to see them.
That's very accepting, though.
It's not necessary.
No, because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's the feeling deep down. You know, whether it manifests in a big display for entertainment purposes. You know, it's not really about that. You know, it's not really about that. All right, I just wanted to ask, because some people have a very hard line about that. They say, you better cry. You better be in tears.
You better cry.
You better be crying a river. I better be swimming up to you with all this water you're leaking out your eye sockets. Or we're not.
Look, I don't care if you have to have onions in your dress.
I don't care how you pull it off.
I don't know how
I don't care how you do it. It doesn't have to be real. It doesn't have to be natty at all. It just has to look good. All right? Could you just do that?
This is a show. This is a show for all our families.
Yes, this is
an
expensive family event where I'm the center stage, and
you better make it worth it.
You better show up. Yeah, no, but those couples probably they don't work out. You know, when they're so insensitive and they're so uncompromising with each other. You got to be able to understand that the pressures of the day are different for everybody, and you can't predict everything. I understand that. I know Brian's given us a signal. You can go fuck yourself, Brian. Real quick.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, okay.
We said we're going to get this on the bullet points. It's on the list. It's on the list. It's on the list that we're going to get to. We're going to get to it. We're not running behind. We are just as fast as we've always been on this show. We are faster than fast. We are not old, I tell you. We are young and in our prime still, because nothing has changed in 3 years. Real quick.
Nothing.
How was the how was the honeymoon? You know, real quick. I know you wanted to mention that. You brought it up. You were so excited to bring it up in the writers' room. I want to make sure we get to it.
You know, honestly, just like any other vacation, really. We went to Fiji.
Dude, when you pitch an idea, hold on a sec. That's fine. Lovely. Okay. When you pitch an idea,
the locals were nice.
I'm thinking you got something. What do you mean? Just like any other vacation? It's your honeymoon. It's supposed to be a life-defining, life-cherishing, best of it's your prime. It's your peak. What do you mean? Just like any other vacation? First of all, why would you?
I don't know.
It was just like any other vacation.
I go on plenty of vacations. It's.
Well,
it was special, yes.
And just for the audience, yes, we have a lot of privilege because we worked very hard, but you can too. Believe in the system, have a dream. But I just want to say, I'm glad that it was a good vacation for you. But why single it out in the writers' room and put on the page if you just there's nothing to it. We ended on a win. I thought we had like a big reveal or something. I thought you had like a you fought a shark for the ghost or whatever, or you and the ghost like merged into one supernatural being and went and raided a tomb or something and fought zombies. I thought something was going to happen with you and a ghost on a honeymoon. Like this a lot, just on every other vacation.
Oh no, I think you misunderstand. She couldn't make it.
She couldn't make it.
Yeah, she's like bound within like a certain distance from our home.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah.
Is that why we were in your kitchen? Is that why the wedding was held in the kitchen? I thought it was just kind of like a nice homely thing. She actually can't leave.
Oh no.
She can't leave that. Yeah. She can't leave that apartment.
Yeah, I don't know how it works exactly. Maybe she's still a young ghost. She can't like travel far enough.
Okay, but not too young. Not too young. Oh, hold on.
Right.
Not too young.
No.
Make sure. Brian, get that out of here. Not too young. Make sure we put that in the press release. All right. So, okay. So it's just a vacation for you then. So it's just a honeymoon for you. So,
Right. Yeah. I FaceTimed her.
Sure. She was part of it, but
she had sunglasses on.
Oh, it's cute. Yeah. So she's. When you're doing distance like that, you gotta try to, you play into it. You do your best.
Yeah. I was showing her around all the time.
Yes.
So, really make it feel like she could be a part of the honeymoon too.
Well, that is lovely. Well, all right then. So that's it. That's our episode. Brian's given me the signal
I think
here.
that's all we have for today.
That's all we had for it. So we're ready to play the outro. No. We have one.
Thank you for listening.
We have one classic clip crop thing. We have to give our advice. What's your advice for the episode?
Really, get your relationship in order before getting married.
Yes. I've heard the advice of get married about a year after you were wanting to get married. You know what I mean? Like just hold,
give it a little time.
Give it a little time.
To
like,
in the
you
oven.
both want to. You're great. Just hold just a little bit longer, just to see. Great advice. Okay, yeah. Let's roll credits then.
All right. Yeah.